Hey Brad, today we're joined by Paul from Mode 7 Games. How's it going back there?
Hello, it is going fantastically well, thank you very much.
Awesome, thanks so much for coming by. You're publishing Tokyo 42.
Yes, indeed we are, and this is said game. So we're Mode 7 Games. We're perhaps best known for our 2011 tactical opus Frozen Synapse, but this is a game from a different developer. They're called SMAC Games, SMAC. Stands for Sean and Magic, which is the name of the developers, two brothers. People always think I'm saying magic when I say his name, but I think that accurately describes his artistic talent.
Yeah, all right. Well, yeah, so this is, I mean, this game's been kind of kicking around, been showing around, you know, some trailers, some gameplay footage online. Every time I see this game, I stop and go, oh my God, what?
Yeah, the footage, every trailer that's come out for this has been very striking.
Well, thank you. Yeah,
So
I mean,
kind of needed to get in front of it and see what it actually is.
the art style was a really big draw for us in terms of why we signed it. As soon as I saw it, I basically said, how much money do you want? Without necessarily even knowing what the game was. It just is fantastically vibrant and lots of different influences, lots of color, a kind of quirky story and so on. So yeah.
And I guess some of the descriptions I've seen of it so far is like a kind of a Syndicate and GTA 1
That's
kind
right.
of stuff.
That's right. So some influence from some older British games like Worms, Cannon Fodder, things like that. But yeah, Syndicate and GTA 1 definitely came into it. Also, the devs are really into their AAA. They're the kind of people who play most things that come out to exhaustion. So there's a little bit of Assassin's Creed in there, a little bit of Metal Gear Solid.
Nice.
Yeah, so they wanted to kind of make something that felt almost like an Amiga era game, but also had some modern conveniences and influences in there as well.
Cool. So what are you up to right now?
So I am doing the very first mission in the game. So the basic narrative is that you're framed for a murder you didn't commit, something I think we can all relate to.
It happens to me more often than I should really talk about here.
2-3 times a week.
Right, exactly. So using that kind of very common scenario, what happens is you get drawn into this colorful world of assassins, and you have to become an assassin in order to find out what happened, which is sort of somewhat ironic in some ways. So we're just taking out this guy, he's called Seamus, he's a mini golf tycoon, and the mini golfers have
the worst kind of scum.
They have a surprising amount of influence in the world of miniaturized Tokyo. So we've just taken him out, and in the process conveniently learned how to shoot our pistol. So this terminal here is a place where you can get various types of missions from. There is a main storyline in the game, so sort of similar to GTA, but lots of side missions and secondary stuff and secrets as well.
Whoa.
Yeah, so that's the weapon shop barge there coming down. So we're just going to go over there and pick up a sniper rifle in a sec.
So you can rotate at will. Will the game ever kind of force you to? Oh, okay, all right.
Whoa. Okay. Yeah. I guess that answers
proper
the question.
platforming. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there is some platforming in the game. It's not sort of a particularly hardcore platformer in general. There's some sections which require you to do it. I mean, kind of as you were just talking about, there are a few parts where you really need to rotate the camera to sort of see specific bits of the terrain. But generally the rotation's kind of used just to orient you in the world, and as part of combat, there's not too many sort of very, very explicit rotation puzzly segments.
Okay.
There's a couple.
Is there any ability to zoom?
Yeah, you can zoom in. It's sort of a function for players to sort of set at their preference. This is the default zoom. It's not something you're going to be doing during the game. It's something you'll set the entire game up to do.
Whoa.
That. So, oh, you didn't see that? Didn't happen.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So this building actually was kind of architecturally inspired by apartment blocks in Tokyo. It's one of the most realistic buildings in the game. A lot of the game is sort of taken from Sean and Machic's trips over there. And the way that Japanese culture and architecture kind of mashes together a load of stuff, they wanted to take that influence and make their own kind of fantastical, surreal version of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we are in the shop. There's a few different things here that we can't get yet. The Fimi gun is pretty ridiculous, as is this heavy laser thing. They're kind of late game weapons, but for now we're going to pick up our sniper rifle, which is quite handy. And we need to go over there and take out a target. So what we can do is, as you pass through the world, you unlock these teleporters, and they enable you to just fast travel around really quickly. You can also get a bit of a sense of the scope of the game from this map. So this is the tutorial area that we've just been in, and here you can see some of the stuff that we're going to come on to later. So it's a bit bigger than you might think. But for now, we're going to just ping over here and do some sniping. just saving my game at these vending machines. They wanted a thing that they could put in the world that wouldn't seem out of place if you had loads of them. So
vending machines.
vending machines.
Japan.
That's Tokyo.
Japan and vending machines.
Yep. All right. Now, when I play the game at home, I can do this first time every time. when I demo it in front of other human beings, I fail usually up to 3 times. So
We are very familiar with that phenomenon. So.
Yeah.
So, root for me here.
Oh.
You guys are
Nice.
special or something. That's
Nice.
magical. Okay, so now we have to go and do a little bit of grenading, and you may pick up something of a worm's influence.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
A little grenade out there. Bang.
Nice.
Okay.
Nicely done.
So everything has physics, and the grenades are a particular example of that. Normally make that jump. So we can't have everything. See if I make this one. Get that coin. Yeah, all right. So yes, there's some money that you can pick up in the world.
Cool.
You also get money for doing missions and various other things. There are some roving gangs. If you take those out, you can make money too. So we've got a nice gift for taking out Seamus. How convenient. What could possibly go wrong in
Nothing.
such a
It's
situation?
just, hey, here's some great free stuff.
Exactly. It's got a miniature Tokyo swag and those nice little green and pink boxes. So attractive. Okay, so this is the first bit of real combat in the game, and it's pretty tricky. New players will expect to die here a lot.
Yeah.
As may I. But something that we really wanted was that the game could be challenging, but you could have instant respawn. There's always someone here who isn't going to play fair and is going to hide up on these steps. Oh, there we go. All right.
Is that a last known position indicator that's showing up?
That's absolutely correct.
Cool.
Yeah, that comes into play a lot more when you do stealth.
Yeah.
So you can mix and match stealth and kind of aggro. Just skipping through the dialogue a little bit here, but we basically encounter another character called New Barber. She's going to give us some information about who framed us later on. So we have to do a couple of things to keep her happy. Games are always about what other people want, I find. They're never about what you want.
Even the open world games
Right,
are
exactly.
never quite about true freedom.
Are you saying player freedom is an illusion?
Saying it's a player's freedom to do what someone else is telling you to do or not.
Yes.
That's right. I mean, you can go for a nice walk in this game, but that may not make for the best video. We might do a little bit of that later on.
Do you ever have to deal with like a police presence in response to your ill deeds?
You may or may not do, and I may or may not be showing that in a little bit. But
Okay.
yeah, there are some consequences for your actions.
Okay.
You can't just go around mowing everyone down.
Whoop.
See if we got that guy.
Nice.
Okay, so what we have to do here is the guards are searching for us. We're going to change our skin. I don't know if no, I didn't do that successfully. Never mind. If you change your skin and then successfully hide, they will de-aggro. Oh, we managed to do it. Okay, that's fine. So we de-aggroed the guards there. You can normally do that a couple of times in each mission, and then you have these recharge panels here that recharge your juice, which is what you use for skin change. All right, let's just head over here.
Yeah, I know. Like, last time I was in Tokyo, everyone was throwing grenades all over the place. It was really crazy.
I'm sure you kept running out of juice as well.
Yes, another common problem.
But again, there are those vending machines.
Yeah,
So
vending machines and panels. And
Always get
it's
more.
been fine.
So this mission is going to introduce us to a couple of the gangs in the game. These guys are some punks, and we've been tasked with irritating them, and there's nothing that punks hate more than a gun going off somewhat near them. So here they come, wielding their katanas. Now we're going to bring them down here to their natural enemies. This is the militant nudist faction, who are obviously known as the Commandos. There they go. The nudists were something of a ratings nightmare, but they're actually wearing tiny pants now, which means that
Problem solved.
that's
Technically
all
not
fine.
nudists anymore, but
Indeed.
it works.
It works. You get the idea. There they are running around. They have their nice nudist garden. A lot of the nudist areas are among the most relaxing in the game. And one thing I really like that the devs did, this is their solution for seeing behind trees. So seeing behind stuff in isometric games is a big challenge. So
Yeah.
it's a nice little way of doing it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Right, we're going to pick up our reward. Keep making our way through the dastardly, colourful underworld.
You're kind of flying through these early missions. I imagine you have, at this point, played this game a number of times.
Well, the advantage of being a small publisher is that everyone has to get involved with QA. So the early part of this game, I have done a great deal.
Yeah.
We're about to see the first bit of sort of real freeform combat, which is where it can really go wrong for me. So
All right.
we'll see about that. So yes, we've got New Barber's attention now. We have to get through to the temple, which is on the other side of this area, and do something there. So this is the first sort of gang stronghold in the game. There are these different restricted areas, and you can see here there's just guys milling around. We can choose to approach this in a stealthy way, or we can choose to jump right in. Against my better judgment, I'm going to try and do some stealth. Now this guy's just appeared there, and he's peering down where I want to be, so I'm just going to hang out for a little bit and see if he goes away. There we go.
All right.
He's discharged his responsibilities. So let's just pop up here. Now I can crouch down and do this very nice little crouch running style. Up we go. That guy's going to turn around pretty soon, so I've got to make sure I get up here. All good so far. Now he is looking down where I want to be, so I'm just going to wait for him. In fact, he's coming around. That little, that little eye icon tells you when they start to notice you, then the cone contracts to a point, and then they'll go crazy. Okay, now let's just. Okay. All right, we made it. Excellent.
Cool.
So again, I could have just run in there. If they'd alerted, that area is pretty easy to kite people around. You can see these boxes and so on. So you can normally get away with it if you aggro there. It's a little bit more challenging. This one is a pure stealth mission, so you really have to kind of be sneaky. And the katana is the ultimate tool of the sneaky person. So let's. There we go.
Now, is there any kind of indicator as to the range of the katana, like when you're?
It's kind of just this hilarious sort of somewhat slapstick slashing animation in the extent of that. Something you have to kind of get used to. Let's just nip up here. That's not going to be good. We'll just hang out for a bit. They really like peering over ledges. I think they're just a bit in awe of the huge void that surrounds everything. Kind of an existential crisis.
Something might come out of there.
Right.
You have to be vigilant.
And that's the eventual story, right? As you find out why this futuristic Tokyo exists in this void, right?
And why it's floating in nothing.
Thematically, possibly. So the actual story, which is much better than that, is that people in this world take a drug to live forever. And you find out why that might not be such a good idea and what the motivations of the...
I feel like I could give you a handful of reasons off the top of my head why taking a drug to live forever might be a bad idea.
Well, there you go, right. So we managed to leap off there successfully, and we'll probably put that away, that looks a bit silly. And we can now go back over to the central area and pick up our rewards. Don't need to do all that running, it's a bit tiring. Right, back to the terminal. So she's happy with us, and we're going to get a car to take us to the next area. Now, the whole world is seamless, so you can move around at will, but this is just our little way of locking the player off at the start, so they don't get too overwhelmed and roam all over the map and do things we don't want. There we go. All right, so she is going to give us access to a lot more information and contracts as we progress through the game.
Nice.
All right, so here we are in the central market area, and there's quite a lot to see here, so I'll just do a little run around before we continue. So there's this interesting central thing. This is kind of the more bubblegum, colourful area of the game. There's some contrasting architecture and colours later on, but I really like these guys. I like this kind of nonchalant blob here, just chilling, quite a seductive pose.
It's a good place, you know, if you want to take a picture of yourself or something, you need a good background. Like that's a good statue.
Exactly.
Sculpture.
Happy blob here, and delighted two-faced bear. Very nice. And some ice cream. So here is the aforementioned company Nanomed and their giant pill. And we've also got this nice little shopping area down here. Now you can buy various aesthetic items here, including skins for yourself, skins for your tracker cat, which we haven't seen yet. There are assassins that can blend in with the civilians around here, and the cat can be used to track them down. So it has a practical purpose as well as just being a cat. Wish my cat had a practical purpose.
Yeah, well, that's, yeah.
There you can see a bit of NPC dialogue. They tell you what they're thinking quite a lot. And they're quite a whiny bunch.
Live forever, but no one's ever truly happy.
Okay, I'm just going to pop up here and cause a bit of chaos again. In fact,
Whoa.
we want...
That's a lot of chaos.
Yeah, so these guys, they all hate each other, all from different gangs. They were having a meeting and we disrupted it. But we have to mop up the survivors, so... Once again, someone's going to be a bit difficult and hide out over there. Come on. So I'll try and use grenades to flush them out. They will do the same to you, so you can't just pop in and out of cover. You have to be quite active. Yeah, it's because it's a demo, isn't it? This is why you're doing it. There we go. Yeah, you can't duck forever. Okay, good. Right.
You just have to show off the effectiveness of your AI. That's how good they are.
That's it. They do get very sneaky with the cover, actually. Right, we'll pick up the reward again. There we are. So something I want to point out here is when I was testing the game, I got a new build, which was just supposed to be bug fixes, and then this appeared, and that kept happening to me throughout development. They just can't resist sticking stuff like this in. If you go behind, you can see that guy's called Catman, and if you click on that, there we go. You get part of the Tokyo tourism. Now, if I find the right thing. There we go. So within here, you have a list of these different scenes that you can collect. So it's just one of the kind of little set of secrets you can do. Some of those are in really ridiculous places and may not ever be found. So there's a challenge for people who buy the game. What I need to do before doing this actually is just go back to the shop and pick up some more ammo, because the next mission is not going to be fun with the basic weapon.
So you end up with, obviously you have the ability to kind of change your skin and that sort of stuff. As the game progresses, will you kind of gain more abilities that use that meter, or is that sort of...
So you can pick up different skins, but primarily the game is about the skill of using the basic abilities. It's not something where the character levels up particularly.
So it's not like you're going to suddenly start using that meter to stop time for 2 seconds or anything weird like that.
No, as cool as that would be, it's kind of about the interaction of those core systems. So here you can see some of the later weapons. The golf club is just an alternate katana, really, but sort of poetic justice for all those golf gang members. We probably need some grenades, actually, because get a bit grenade happy. And some more rifle ammo. There we go. Right. Did we get the teleporter there? No. So we'll just do a quick run over there. So the music in the game was composed by a guy called Vicente Espy, who's a friend of the developers, and it's just really fantastic. Lots of different influences in there, lots of 80s synth stuff, some kind of discordant percussion and film soundtrack stuff as well. He's really, really great to work with. I do the music for our Frozen Synapse game, so I'm pretty fussy about music, and he is really good. He's blown me away with his work. So.
Awesome. I can't get over how well realized this style is.
Yeah, like the environment is.
I mean, the incredible thing is that it's all one person. Maciek did all of the art himself, all the characters, these portraits, everything was him, and it's just great. So this is another instance where we can go stealth or aggro. Against my better judgment, I'm gonna see if we can. Yeah, okay, that was a bad idea. That's a bad idea. I need to trigger that guy from somewhere else. And see if we can survive a bit longer.
So you're on mouse and keyboard now, but can we assume on console the control will be kind of standard dual joystick setup?
Yeah, that's right. So you have a kind of standard twin stick mode which fires along the same plane as you, but you also have a kind of sniping fire mode that enables you to move the cursor around with the stick as well and kind of pick out other areas, and that works quite well as a balance. Let's just see if we can... that's not good. Okay.
I still just love this idea of just people hurling a ton of grenades at each other, just in their general direction. It's like, I think there's a guy over here.
It's kind of like the hitting your horn of Tokyo is just to lob a grenade.
Yeah.
Now this is so tricky because they'll come out of that door as well. This is really intended as a stealth mission, but I get a bit bored with stealth sometimes. So
sometimes you just want to mix it up.
Exactly. Now there seems to be someone lurking down. Oh, that is a ridiculous place to stand. One of the things, you know how publishers always say, the game is different every time you play?
Yep.
This actually happens a lot, even with the sort of quite simple systems and the AI. Sorry, I've played this mission quite a lot of times, and this has never happened before. They've been really campy today. That's risky. If they pop out of there and I'm not paying attention, that's a bad thing.
And how resilient are you? How many?
One shot kill.
Okay.
Yeah. Which is why I'm not talking as
Be
much.
careful. Be careful. All right.
Looks like you can't save in the middle of a firefight.
Yeah, when you're in aggro. Now, I might have a chance at a skin change here, so we'll see. So there's my last scene indicator. If they spot me in that radius, or if they spot me where I'm hiding, they'll re-trigger. And I'm really hoping they don't, because I'd really like to save. Come on. Might be too close. I think they just spotted me there. Yeah, they spotted me. Great.
Ooh.
Okay, we'll just keep going. It's usually better to keep on the move in these situations.
Okay, so this isn't even necessarily wipe out everyone. They're just going to keep coming until you reach this concourse?
It is a wipe out everyone in this part of the level situation.
Okay.
If I do manage to do that, that's pretty difficult. Then I'll, again, get a break and be able to save. But we really wanted it, to make it hard to cheese these levels. Like, you can't just attack for a bit, then save, then attack for a bit again, when it's sort of intended to be stealth. Push me out. Okay, great.
All right, there you go.
We managed to clear that, so we can save, he said, quickly running back. Okay, so in the stealth version of this, you can see these little sort of flower pot areas here. You'd have to do a lot of sneaking around.
Right, yeah.
For the sake of time, we've blasted through there.
All right.
I really like that little fall animation, the character's arms going forward like that. Yeah, this is all nice and empty now because we drew everyone down to the lower levels.
Yeah. It's the easiest stealth of all, is
Exactly.
when any
everyone's
eye
dead.
that would see you is dead.
Yep. So I forgot to mention, this is the stronghold of Toby Beef, the beef magnate.
Okay.
And he's
It's a family business.
he's rented the entire hotel out, and he's hanging out on the top. So try and take him out. Now I'm going to be a bit sneaky here. The aggro approach here is to go up through the lift and pop out there, but that's extremely difficult and requires timing and so on. Am I going to get spotted?
Oh no.
Yeah,
Never
mind.
mind.
Okay, that's fine. We'll just have to wait for these to come down again.
Is it possible to throw a grenade up that high? Like, if you were really on it, could you just?
Yes, you definitely could. It's a bit tricky, and you run the risk of just aggroing everyone, and having them come down through that little elevator there and get you. Okay, that's how you're supposed to do that. It's the professional method, and silent kill as well. And now jump off. The number of times I've fallen down that hole after doing this is too many to count, quite frankly.
I feel like, if you're going to run the risk of just jumping off a building, you take what you might deserve to occasionally fall off.
Absolutely. Right.
Cool.
Let's just pop back here. So I need to just find a particular area. Yeah, Toby Beef is a popular product in Mini Tokyo. So I'm just gonna demonstrate what happens when. Right.
Cop drop.
There we go.
Cop drop is really fun to say out loud. I just discovered.
It is. Here they come.
Cop.
This is wave one. Not too challenging. Just pistols. There's a gang there, which I really don't want them to get involved with this, so I'd better not shoot them. And I also don't want to back myself into a hole, and I also don't want to stand underneath the cop drop. So there you can see the blue shield unit. Now he's particularly adept at just bouncing stuff back at you, so you can't shoot directly at him. Once everyone else is dead, he will drop his shield and come after you, which makes things a lot easier. So we'll see if I can get that. A lot of this is about controlling angles and trying to make sure they don't flank you. Oh, okay. Oh, we actually cleared that because they ran away so far. They didn't want to come back. All right, I might see if I can show the later waves of that a bit later on, but they can be quite cowardly at times.
Well, you know, it's Tokyo cops. They're not normally armed anyway. So
I make no comment. Okay, so here we're trying to beat a rival assassin to a kill, and there's a little trick to this mission which I'm sure I'll annoy the devs by showing, but hey, we just want to get through today. You can actually grenade this guy from here, and then... Oh no.
Oh.
If you're competent. Come on. Yes. Right. Let's see if we can not get sniped or grenaded.
Oh,
that didn't work. Okay, never mind. So the kind of hardcore version of that mission is to do it all in one go. We don't force you to endlessly replay that bit of getting sniped.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's fun to do once, but then...
So was that like an automatic mid-mission checkpoint there? Okay.
Yes, that's right, yeah. There's Bart, he's upset that we took his kill away.
Would you say the bulk of the mission objectives are based on assassinations? Is that kind of the primary?
Yeah, there's a lot of taking out specific targets, kind of infiltrating buildings. But here you'll see one which is a little bit different. This is kind of a semi-tutorial thing, but there are others that are a bit similar to this. So we just have to go and have a meeting with Sasha here, and the first thing we need to do is pick up a new suit from the shop. It's a suit. Right, we'll head over here. The suits are a kind of Yakuza type gang, and they live up in the temple, which is just over here.
So then does that suit kind of confer any ability to slip past these gangs then?
That's right, yeah.
Okay.
It just is a kind of very brute force stealth thing, but it doesn't last for very long, as you're about to see, so you have to hit the recharge pads in time. So I'll just go ahead and turn my suit on, charge up, and then we can run up here. So I can make it in time. And then we'll go ahead and have our meeting. So Sasha tells us that we need to infiltrate Nanomed and do some missions for them in order to find out what's going on. So that's where we're going to head now, after we've charged up. Very easy to just go charging off there. Don't need to bother with that. We'll change back to our normal skin so we're not constantly using juice.
Will you gain any charge just naturally over time, or is it strictly at the recharge pads?
You've got to hit the pads.
Okay.
There are some positioned in the middle of quite a few missions, but also there's these ambient ones around the place. So here's our first sort of real introduction to the terminals, and all of these side missions are for Nanomed. So if we take this one, we're going to go and demonstrate the hypocrisy of this yoga guru. He's allegedly anti-nanomeds, but we're going to prove that he's in fact taking them.
Prove it the hard way, huh?
That's going to be pretty simple.
Class doesn't seem especially bothered.
They've just realized. Off they go.
Yeah.
And off he goes. So that's just an example of a super quick little simple mission.
So how long are you kind of thinking in terms of like the average player kind of getting through the game?
So the core missions will probably take about 6 or 7 hours, and then the side missions, I'd say maybe 3 or 4 hours on top of that. It's going to be hugely variable based on player skill and so on. Also, again, there's a lot of stuff to find on the map. So if you're that kind of player and you want to explore everywhere, there's a lot to take in. I mean, I've been really impressed with the amount of detail and scope they've been able to pack in.
Was that something on screen that just said enemy nemesis?
Yes, that was a Nemesis assassin. I think we ran out of the area where they were, but that basically means that one of these civilians will turn and attack us at some point. We don't have the cat yet, so we can't really deal with them. So we've got to take out these punks here. They're facing this building.
How dare they?
As punks are wont to do. Swift justice.
Just love the idea of someone just like spray painting a mural, just tagging something up, and then someone runs up behind them with a fucking katana. Just, hey, hi.
Tokyo isn't what it used to be,
Yeah.
as they say. This is normally, I'm normally a lot worse at this, so. Oh, there we go. Yeah, that was gonna happen at some point. So if with those, if people are sort of to the side, if you have slightly the wrong angle, you'll get aggro.
Yeah.
That was a lot easier than normal.
Did I see that there was also a multiplayer component to this?
That is correct, yep. So the multiplayer kind of takes place in smaller arenas. So let me just find an example for you. Yeah, if you kind of look at this general area here, so that would be sort of the arena multiplayer style area. And what happens there is you and your opponent start off basically as civilians. So you can see I'm walking around here. You don't have any ammo at all, any of the good weapons. So what you need to do is kind of time it and then make a run for it to pick up some ammo. When your opponent notices where you are, they can tag you by selecting you. And also the cat is used again there to flush out your opponent. So it's a lot of mind games. It's a lot about which weapon am I going to take first? Am I going to go for one of the really obvious, very good weapons in a prominent place, or am I just going to sneak around taking basic ammo?
Right. So are you marked up front as a player character, or do you get to blend in? Like
yes, you start off completely unmarked, and your opponent has to figure out who you are, sort of almost spy party.
Yeah, just kind of based on your movement and.
Yeah.
Cool.
And it gets fun with multiple players. I think we're going for up to 8 players in those scenarios.
Wow.
You can also play in this map in a kind of battle royale mode. So here we have to do a bit more sniping.
So this seems like a very effective vantage point.
You get to see a bit more of the kind of depth of field stuff going on here.
Yeah, that's a nice effect.
This is a tricky mission.
Nice.
Not going to have time to get that one, I think. No, he's gone. Let's see if we can do this again.
Ooh, that's rough. Nice.
Really gotta lead those targets.
Let's have another go.
Nice.
It's not happening today. It's not happening today. This is going to happen at some point.
Is this a main story mission you're doing here?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
One more go. One more go. Yep, that's not happening today.
Fortune does not favor you today.
Yeah.
I even had them make this mission easier from how hard it was originally. All right. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to unlock the teleporters in the game, and we're going to have a little bit of a look around.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay, so we've seen the market area and we saw our tutorial area. Now what we're going to do is head over here to the temple. And this is basically the hangout for the suits. And this area is kind of about how traditional architecture can blend in with a sort of more futuristic landscape. Some really nice design here. The music's really nice. There's a big stealth section that takes place in this maze up here. And, here you can see their approach to interiors, which I really like.
Wow.
Oh. Wow, that's cool.
That's a cool effect.
Easy way of solving that problem.
That's
Wow.
That is unnecessarily silly. I really like it.
Yep. Also, what we'll do is we'll pop over to Kowloon. So this has a kind of Hong Kong kind of walled city influence here. And oh
boy,
that's not the right place to do that. There we go. So you get some of your more traditional sort of neon-y cyberpunk stuff going on here. There's a really nice bit up here as well.
Nice.
Now, what I'll do as well is I'll just see if we can start it on this mission. Okay, so this is just going to enable us to see the mission that takes place on top of this building. And in fact, also, I will just give myself some weapons so that we can see some of the different weapons in the game. So I'm going to switch to the minigun now, which is perhaps my favorite weapon in the game, and you'll be able to see how that differentiates from the regular rifle. Just trying to pick my moment here so that I actually live for more than 2 seconds before aggroing him.
Oh boy.
Oh.
Oh wow.
Oh, that was nearly so good. I managed to do that before. Okay, let's see. So yeah, you can see a much higher rate of fire there for the minigun. And we'll pop some grenades up here.
I was about to ask if you had a limited number of grenades, and I see in the lower left that you do, but just barely limited.
That was, yes, through cheating, I've achieved a rather absurd number of grenades. But grenades are quite cheap to, so close, quite cheap to pick up from the shops, so you don't necessarily have to worry about running out.
And they really seem like a good problem solver for any of this kind of multi-level.
Yes, absolutely. There are some boss fights later on in the game, and they generally require a very high number of grenades to do well.
Now that mission before, where you're trying to snipe the three guys that were running away.
Don't bring that up again. I don't want to talk about it.
It's an alternate. Could you have grenaded them instead?
No, you need to snipe there. That's a very sort of
right.
prescribed mission. Because my sniping mojo wasn't calibrated well there, I decided to skip past that one.
I don't even remember what you're talking about.
There are quite a lot of missions which you can approach in alternative ways. That one I showed you where you were beating the assassin to his target, sneaking the grenade over the top there isn't necessarily the primary method. You'd probably initially want to go around and do some stealth and pop up there.
Yeah.
Okay. Just need to get a bit more juice. Never mind. So that gives you a bit of an idea of this top section.
Yeah.
What we're trying to do is go up into this building, which requires sort of navigating through this whole huge area.
Oh wow, there's a lot
of different stuff up there. So that's quite an example of one of a longer, more involved mission.
Cool. All right. Well, awesome, Paul. Is there anything else in this build you want to show off, or should we call it here?
I would love to show you the cat.
All right.
Okay.
We'll end on the cat.
We should see the cat.
Let me find a good location for that. So here we go. So the cat's going to pop out there.
Oh.
And what she'll do is rove around trying to find assassins. There aren't any assassins right now, but so she'll just come over here and follow me. And you can get different skins for the cat as well, change the color. And there's a whole mission tree to do with acquiring the cat and figuring out her skills. So it's just a really nice touch.
Some good cat animation.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cat animation's great. there we go. That's
Cool.
That's Tokyo 42.
All right, so how is there? What's the planned release date right now?
So it's really in final QA at the moment.
Oh,
We're
wow.
saying a few months, just because we're not quite sure of sorting out all those rough edges. We want to make sure it's really, really good on all the platforms. Obviously, it's on PC, Xbox One, and PS4.
Great.
And yeah, thanks so much for having me on. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, no, thanks so much for coming by. I'm glad to finally get a look at this. It's just the it's got such an overwhelmingly cool look.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah, cool. Thanks again for coming through.
My pleasure.